What's happening, ghouls? Welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Thanks for tuning in. I, of course, am GoreCore, and today we're going to hit up a movie review. So today we are looking at the movie The Well. Now this follows the story of an art restorer named Lisa, played by Lauren Rivera, who travels to a small Italian village of the name Zambucci, where she has been hired by a woman named Ella to restore an old medieval painting. Of course, things aren't quite as they seem, and from this point on, everything seems to spiral downwards. Now this is directed by a director I'm unfamiliar with by the name of Federico Zampaglione. So The Well doesn't have a super complicated story by any means. It's pretty simplistic and straightforward, which I think is great sometimes. It allows you just to focus on the movie and it's not about these big twists and turns. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. In this case, it's a lot of atmosphere taking place here, especially in the beginning of the film. Now this is an Italian film, the director is Italian, so if you're a fan of Italian horror, I think you'll find some enjoyment in this, especially if you're a fan of people like Lucio Fulci or Dario Argento or Michael Sovi. And the beginning of this was very fog heavy, and just the way it was presented, there was moments that kind of reminded me of the film Della Morte dell'Amore. So if you're into that sort of thing, I think you'll definitely find some enjoyment here. It definitely felt like a bit of a throwback to the 70s, just the whole look of and feel of it. So I thought that was great, definitely something that I enjoyed. Now, as far as the acting goes, I thought it was great. I have no complaints about this. Some of the reviews I read did pick on the acting, but I always see that when it comes to horror movies. I mean, I don't know what people expect exactly. I'm maybe not as fussy as some people. If it's not atrocious and it's not super over dramatic, really that's what gets me the most. And I find that more in Hollywood films where things are just so over dramatic and overdone that I can't help but laugh at it. I really can't take it seriously. And I mean, they're horror films. How serious should we take these? I know sometimes they're trying to be gripping and put you on the edge of your seat, but again, it depends how it's presented and how it's done. But I had no problems with the acting here. I thought it was all fantastic and really no issues at all. I think everybody did a great job. And of course, I'm a fan of Lauren Rivera, being a fan of Terrifier 2, and definitely looking forward to seeing her in Terrifier 3 when that releases. So I thought she did a great job. In regards to the score, I can't say that I really took a lot of notice to it. I know in the beginning of the movie, we had a little bit of music under the intro. And then of course, the music seemed to come back a little bit towards the end of the film, but I feel like a lot of the score here was more atmospheric and more based around sound effects rather than an actual movie, music score. But it all suited, it worked well, it certainly wasn't jarring or bothered me by any means. It just didn't stand out as anything exceptional, but it did what it needed to do, so no complaints there. Now, the one thing I was quite surprised by this, and I'm not trying to give away too much here because I obviously don't want to spoil the movie for you, but the levels of gore here were definitely more extreme than I expected. I thought the makeup effects were fantastic. It looked like it was all practical effects. It's very well done. And there's definitely a few moments that made me go, oh, geez, like that's brutal, and almost kind of reminded me of those kind of Terrifier levels of gore. Again, not to that extreme and not as often, but for a little bit of it, yeah, there's definitely some crazy moments for sure. So if you're like me and you like to see some blood and, just devastation in your movies, then I don't think you'll be too disappointed with this one. And we also got some cool creature effects, which is definitely cool. Again, not trying to ruin anything here, so I'm not going to say too much. This is as much as I'll say about it. This was definitely an enjoyable film. I definitely had a lot of fun with it, and I found towards the end of it, I had to wonder exactly what had happened. And again, I don't want to ruin anything, but the whole thing kind of comes around full circle in a sense. So that's all I'm going to say about that. If you've seen the movie, I think you'll know what I mean. And if not, and you have questions, feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer them. I just don't want to ruin it for people who haven't seen it. And this is available now. So if you haven't seen it and want to check it out, see what you think, I would be happy to hear what your thoughts are about the movie. Of course, if you've already seen it, let me know. I'm always happy to hear from you guys. And if I had to give this movie a rating, we're going to say out of 10. Again, these are arbitrary numbers. I'm not calculating anything. I'm not going, oh, the score gets a 6 out of 10. I'm not doing that. This is just off the cuff and kind of where I feel it sits. I would give this movie somewhere around a 6 or a 7 out of 10. I definitely enjoyed it. It's not a masterpiece. I'm not going to watch this movie over and over again, but I definitely enjoyed it. I thought they did a fantastic job. Again, the atmosphere with this was just great. And again, the gore was good. So it's a solid horror movie. So that's really all I can ask for. So let me know what you thought if you saw it. Always happy to hear from you guys. Again, I very much enjoyed this. Hopefully you did if you saw it. And if you didn't, let me know why you didn't enjoy it. I'm always curious because, again, this is all subjective. We all have different opinions and like movies for different reasons. So I'm always happy to hear from you guys. Now, these movie reviews, I'm not going to try to drag anything out too long. I know when I watch movie reviews, I don't want to listen to 20 minutes of somebody going on and on and on about stuff. So I'm going to try to keep them fairly concise and basically just give you my opinion. So hopefully this comes as some sort of help to you, or maybe gives you an idea if whether or not you want to check it out or not. It won't be for everybody, but I think there's definitely people who will enjoy it, especially if you're into atmospheric horror movies. And once again, thank you all so much for tuning into this video. I appreciate all of your support and taking the time to watch these videos. It means a lot. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Of course, if you have a moment, could you please subscribe to the channel? It helps it grow. We would definitely appreciate it. Impale that like button, and if you'd like to get our future updates, stab the notification bell down below for that. Also, don't forget about those links down below. You can follow me on all of the major platforms. I've added an IMDB link down below for this movie, as well as the trailer link, so check those out if you're not familiar and interested to see if this might be up your alley. But either way, thank you so much. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Stay sick, everybody. Cheers.